Hey everybody, this is video 2 on the t420. So this video is going to be about doing the BIOS upgrade to Coreboot so you can run a 3920 XM chip. I think you can also run the DDR3 faster, whatever is faster above 1600 megahertz, so maybe that's 1833 or 1866. I don't have that fast of memory to try it, so I just do 1600, but I think that's still pretty fast. So I'll just show you one that's already flashed to Coreboot, and then I'll show you how you run Linux and use Flashrom and the Coreboot file. I'm not going to show you how to compile the Coreboot for the t420. I just have two different ROMs that are already done, and I'll try to figure out how to upload those either on the, what is that site called? The Mega Upload or whatever, or Google Drive or OneDrive, wherever, and then you can just use those ROMs and flash it. Okay, so this computer's not happy. So this one has been flashed already. I'll just show you what it looks like afterwards. You can see the model. Oh yeah, so the 3920 XM is an SR0T2. This is my advanced heatsink, so we're just going to turn it on just so you can see what it looks like. So we should be on, and then you just have this little guy right there, Coreboot, and that lets you run the Ivybridge processor and the faster RAM. Alright, so I'll take this stuff off, plug it. Now we'll use this laptop with our ch341 guy in Ubuntu. I'll leave a link to this. Okay, so then what we do is we have our t420 laptop that we want to run an Ivybridge processor on. And there's the BIOS chip. So what I do is I just take a Dremel and cut the frame out, because I don't want to unscrew all these screws and take the motherboard out of the frame. If you don't feel like doing that, then you can take the computer all the way apart and flash the BIOS or just the motherboard. And when you buy this thing, you get this cable that hooks up to the chip, and the ends are different, but it's easier if you go and just solder like the little Raspberry Pi clips on the end, where you can plug them in like that, and then you can read the guide online, like what the pinout is, and then like how it matches the whatever BIOS processor guy. So I have two of them because that made it easier to read what was happening. Of course, I don't see it now. Where did you go? Where did you go? Where did you go? Where did you go? Alright, well, I guess I'll just unplug it and show you. So you can read here, you got like 3.3 volts, ground, MISO, MOSI, CS, clock, 5 volt, ground, and you only need 6 of them. The link I'll provide, I'll just show you the picture. Two of the 8 you don't have to hook up, and then the BIOS is numbered, so I think 1 starts where the little dot is. Oh, and then you also need there's 4 possible BIOS chip versions. And I can't read that without a magnifying glass, so what I do is I just take a picture of it like this, and then I blow up the picture to read what the BIOS chip model is, because you'll need that for the Flashrom. And then you line up your little clip, and see it has these little teeth, and so you want to grab the teeth onto the legs of the BIOS chip. And if you don't have it lined up right, it's fine, you just try again. So that's it, it's on there. And I already got this all in the Linux terminal because I've already done it, so I'll just log in. Don't you know my very secure password? Oh, it doesn't even have my user. And again, you'll probably want to run this at like 1.5 speed, because you don't want to listen to me talk forever. And I'm doing it on my phone, and I don't edit the videos. Nope, that didn't work. So why didn't that work? Oh, this computer has Diet Pi. This computer does not have Ubuntu. It has Diet Pi. So Diet Pi is Debian, like for Raspberry Pi, but if you have an old computer, like you can run Diet Pi on a x86 computer. And I updated the kernel to 5.10, blah blah blah, so that's pretty exciting. Oh, and that's another thing. Another thing you can do with this programmer, the ch341 programmer, is you can flash not just the t420 motherboards, you can do the Z170 motherboard mod, where you can run like the 9700 or the 9900K processors in the Z100, and they're supposed to be in like the Z300, whatever. So I can leave a link on how to do that. And then if you get like I don't remember what this is, an Asus Pro Turbo, no, PSQ Turbo P5Q. This is an Asus PQ5 Turbo. So whatever CPU it has, you can run a Xeon. If you update the microcode on the CPU, so there's some, so you can do a Xeon X5460, you can update the microcode on this one, the Z170, T420, so you can do different stuff with this. So we'll just open the terminal since I've already done this, and then I'll show you the folder it's saved in. That's a zip file, so and then all my ROMs are saved in here, and because that's where the terminal opens up, and it's a lot easier doing it this way. So log in. So the first command you're gonna run is you're gonna install apt to install Flashrom. You don't have that, and then you're gonna run Flashrom -p whatever device you have. So my device is the ch341a underscore SPI. So we hit enter, and this reads it. And so it found, I don't know why, like how we could have 4 different model numbers, but you can see there, it's got 4 different model numbers. So if you look on top of the BIOS chip, you can tell which one it is, and it's this one, the one that's 6406E. So you need to be able to read the BIOS. So like if you don't have this on right, like, oh no, it's not on right, and then you run it again, like nothing will happen. So then we gotta put this back on. Hope it's on there right, and then we'll run it again. Nope, it's not on right. Try it again. There we go. So we got the model numbers and everything. Some people say the length of this test cord is also affects how well the flasher works and stuff. And then of course if you have different, but like these are just from China, so like who knows who made this? If you know, somebody on a forum like custom DIY'd this thing, and then and then people in China just mass produce it, so the quality can vary. And then like I already have the ROM I'm gonna flash, and that is this one. And I'll link these. Well, I guess you'd want to write your ROM to back it up, so that's what I did here. So you just do it, you'd back up your ROM twice and just make sure they're the same, your original ROM, and then just make sure they're the same size, and then you have 2 copies of your original ROM in case you messed up. So I'll show you that. So after you've read your model number, then you read it. So then you add in your model -R and then the file you want to save. So I saved t3t.bin, and there's it. So you'd run that, it'll read it, identify it, and write that file. Okay, so then the next step is write. No, we did that. That's what we're doing, sorry. Yeah, we read it, and then we write it. So then we write, -W, same program, the new file. This is the Ivybridge Coreboot BIOS. And then that came from this person on Reddit. And sometimes like stuff doesn't work when they do this, so like maybe your speaker out doesn't work, or like your firewire doesn't work, so you can compile your own or just try to find a different one. But this guy, I'll just link this in there because his is really great. And it's already in Dropbox, and he made like 5 different Coreboot BIOSes, because he's saying if you're at home you got to have different MAC addresses. So if I wanted to run like 4 of these computers, like doing, I don't know, folding at home or mining at Monero or whatever, I need different MAC addresses to hook up to the router. Well, I'll just go ahead and read this so you can see it read, and then you'll know how long it takes to read it. So we'll just say that's v t3tb.bin. So we'll read and write it we'll save a file, not write it. We'll save a file to the computer so you can just see how long it takes. So it's reading flash, we're waiting. I'll find my coffee. It's reading. It's 8 megabits. It's bytes. Bytes. Megabytes. Pretty common. If you're doing like the Z170 BIOS mod to run the 9900K or the 9700K, there's some people on eBay that have replacement BIOS chips because I've broken them. You can actually take them out. If you have one that you take out, what happens is, when I do it, bend the pins. So you can usually bend the pin back 1 or 2 times, and then you're screwed. And if you do it that way, it sits in here and you press this little lever down, and you don't have to hook up the jumper guy. But if you break the legs off, you just type your motherboard model in eBay, and you can get a new chip for, I don't know, $15 or something. Alright, so it's done. It says done. Our new file is right here. It's 8. And then it should be this. Well, it's actually, I don't know what. They're all the same size. I don't know. And then we got our backup, and then we want to write our modded Coreboot Ivybridge BIOS. And that is the one that was CIV. So we want to do -w cis.rom, and then I'll just run that so you can see how long it takes. It's confusing at first, like, because like people do it yourselfers, like we don't have electrical engineering education or whatever. So I mean, you can follow instructions and do this, but like it's hard. If you mess something up, like you don't completely understand the process, like you don't know what step in the instructions you messed up or what step in the instructions there's like you have to do it that way because or the way it reads the BIOS or whatever, or the size is wrong, or you don't have the 3.3 volt plug connected, or all kinds of stuff. So I just try and make very detailed videos, so like even if you don't have any experience in this, but like, hey, I want to update my CPU, like if you follow these instructions, you should be able to do it. Of course, I'm not going to pay for your CPU or your motherboard or your pain and suffering if this doesn't work. So the first thing it says is reading old flash chip contents. It erases the flash chip. Erase write done. Oh, erasing and write. So it already wrote it. That was pretty fast. And now it's verified. So then we should be able to plug this in. I have to get a keyboard. It's annoying that nobody knew all the experimenting that was going to be going on when you were. Oh shit. Okay. So then we need a motherboard. I think I moved that. It's verifying flash. I'm sure it's okay. We're just gonna move on. Probably shouldn't do that, but I think it'll be alright. Don't do what I do. Do what I say. And we hook up the motherboard. Our flash chip is in an unknown state. So I messed that up and I got excited and I didn't even follow my own instructions. So it says failed, but like it already wrote it. It was just verifying it, so I should have let it verify it, but like I think it's okay. So we got that, and then we'll plug it in. And it should just turn on. And as long as you don't get any weird beeps or anything, there we go. Woo-hoo. So this is the Coreboot Steel BIOS. I don't actually know. This ROM is different. I don't know how to get into the BIOS settings with this version of Coreboot. But it works, like I don't know. But that's it. CPU is working. I don't know if I can show you what the temperature is in. Pretty warm. Like this 3920 is a 45 watt CPU, so it gets pretty warm. System mode. I don't think I have any programs to show you temperature or anything, but that's it. And don't go trying to reach for the keyboard while you're verifying the BIOS is flash. Don't do anything. But thanks for watching. Links in the description.